almost as fast as a speeding bullet, leaping waves at a single bound. It's a porpoise. It's a fighting, flying blue marlin. Half bird, half fish. It's the Delco PT boat with enough dynamite to blow up a battleship and the speed to get away if the first KO punch misses. They didn't happen as a little naval accident. MacArthur asked for 200 of them back in 1937 to defend the Philippines. He didn't get them because they weren't in existence, even on paper, at that time. But when in '39, Henry R. Sutphen, Executive Vice President of Delco, was approached by Secretary of the Navy Charles Edison, he went to work. He remembered several hundred motor launches built by Delco for World War I. This was another day. They'd have to be new and better, the best. In 1940, the first squadron of PTs, numbered 10 to 17, was running deep-sea tests for the Navy. Between Cuba and Florida, they hit the tail end of a hurricane, took a beating, and stood up. Not one of these 70-footers was lost. The Navy asked for more of these seaworthy midget sluggers, and the British wanted some too. The need for heavier armament brought out our 77-foot PT, and this was the first to see action in the Pacific. When the ideas had boiled down to a unit, this 80-footer was the PT giant killer that went to Guadalcanal, the Aleutians, Panama, Africa, Sicily, and the Channel ports. There were hundreds and hundreds more of them. How did they all get built? We know the men who fought in them: Bulkley, Kelly, Cox, the Expendables. But who made them? Where did they come from? Over the Bayonne, New Jersey plant of the Electric Boat Company, Delco, the E flag presented by the United States government for excellence in war production has never been absent. 6 times it has been given for ever-increasing efficiency. The Packard marine engine is hauled out of the crate. As you might suspect, looking at its small size in relation to great power, there is aviation as well as marine history behind it. A distant ancestor was the Liberty motor of World War I. More recent forebears were power plants of the Miss America racing boats. On a basis of pound per unit of horsepower, it compares favorably with the great airplane engines currently in use. It's built for maximum power, minimum weight, and bulldog endurance, exactly like each tough fighter boat that houses 3 of them. Brought to the assembly floor on dollies, they are carefully installed in a PT engine room. There's just enough room for them to line up. The 2 on the outside have V drives, reversing the direction of crankshafts facing forward. The middle one has a direct drive to the propeller. It's a very compact engine room, but big enough for a competent engineer to make adjustments and repairs if they should ever be necessary. At full speed, the engines make a noise that discourages conversation. But engineers are less dependent on small talk than those who sing cowboy ditties on deck. And now the PT, with engine, superstructure, and deck aboard, is ready for its first run in the open. But the time has come when the engines will sound alive, alternately muttering and roaring their response to a throttle shoved forward with the heel of a hand. The first trial is to be run. They're ready to prove that she can do the main and simple things for which she has been built. She'll handle in the water, she'll run fast and run slow. But first she moves out slowly, leaving the wet basin. First, she's brought to the main basin. The engines are started up for dock trials. After an hour, they're ready. Instruments in triplicate show they're delivering. The engineer throws his levers, meshing power to the propellers. And the shaft turns slowly. This, the builder's first trial run, is one of many. When the builder has been wholly satisfied, the Navy will take charge and try it all over again. Newark Bay sees the new boats come out week after week. At first, they crawl through waterways too crowded for racing speed. And now they change their pace. They slide easily under the high arch of the Bayonne Bridge. These are the babies Commander Bulkley used to carry MacArthur out of the Philippines. They fought out of Tulagi, at Guadalcanal, at Sicily and Salerno, on the shores of New Guinea in the dirty weather of the Aleutians, and they helped guard the Panama Canal. They fought E-boats and were out in front of the invasion. They came back to the Philippines at c.late. They're the little PT boat, with a load of dynamite on either shoulder, and they'll tackle anything that floats. They represent the newest combat weapon produced by this war, and they have been expertly used by our Navy. The story of the PTs would be incomplete without a well-deserved tribute to the brave men who fight them. Like every man of war, the PTs were made for only one purpose: to meet the enemy and destroy him wherever he can be found, be it on or under the sea, on the land, or in the air. The PT men have done just that, from barge to battleship, submarine to airplane. The PT men have acquitted themselves with honor, reflecting the highest credit upon the United States Naval Service.